I guess. Continue. So yeah, I lost all my saves, I had to go do that all over again. Just like skipping through the chapters. Hey, good morning, Rena. You're late today. Hi, Rena. You're just early today, Kichi-kun. I'm not trying to put aside the fact that I'm always late, but it feels good to defeat you once in a while. How? I slept in this morning. Did you, Rena? I couldn't sleep last night. Oh, you too? Same here. I'm still feeling yesterday's uproar. Took me a long time. It took me a long time to go to sleep. Yesterday I had a lot of fun with my friends and went home still riding that high. I was too full to eat dinner. I kept talking with my parents about the great time I had over the past few days. I was so pumped up that I couldn't go to sleep. Kinda sound like I'm a little kid. But given that Rena seemed to be the same way, I felt better about it. No, I felt better isn't the right way of phrasing it. I should say I'm glad to know that we shared the same feelings. Rena went treasure hunting after I left. I'm sure she found many adorable things and went home and talked with her parents about how great that her day was. Hey, Mi-chan. Good morning. Oh, you're here too. Better watch out for the pigs falling from the sky. I know I usually make you wait for me, but do you really have to say it like that? Kichi-kun was unusually early this morning. Today's full of miracles. You'll want to talk yourself. It's going to be another happy day today. I had fun the day before yesterday. I had fun today yesterday, so I'm going to have fun today for sure. I'm happy and Mion is happy too. Of course, Rena and my other friends are equally happy. I'm not afraid to say it, and I wish these happy days would last forever. Hey Mion, what were you playing today? What are we playing today? What for club? I don't know yet. Rena, do you have any ideas? Let's see. We've been playing athletic games for the past few days, so I'd say something not athletic. You're right, that's a very good point. Our club is not only about athletic performance, is it? Of course it's not. Our club members have to have brains, skill, and brawn to boot. So why don't we play some tabletop games today? Everyone was early this morning. We could enjoy our walk to school for once. After a while, we started talking about the upcoming festival. They told me that the festival was called Higurashi, and that is the biggest event of the year in Himizawa. Yesterday, my relatives gathered at my house in Akinomiya, and they started talking about Yuki-chan. What, me? What did the great people of the Shinozaki family talk about? Well, my uncle, Yoshiro is the store manager of Angel Mart, and he saw your performance yesterday. He really likes you now. So I started asking the others if they had heard of you, and I found out that most of them did. They said you're famous in Himizawa. Famous doesn't sound like they meant in a good way. I'm probably more infamous to them because of the punishments you made me do. It's not only that. They said that you blend in, well, that you're full of energy and that you're a little bit reckless. They said that it's rare for a young man in this era to have those qualities. They were very impressed with you. I felt a bit embarrassed to know that people I haven't even met were talking well of me. And so they want you to do something at the Watanigashi festival. You like to draw people's attention, don't you? Hey, don't assume things and just don't decide anything without asking me. Don't you know I'm a quiet, lonely guy who loves to be alone? Lonely guy? You mean Cherry Boy, don't you? What's a Cherry Boy? Kichi-kun, what does Cherry Boy mean? Oh, stop talking about nasty things. Ladies don't talk about things like that. We really were still feeling the after effects of yesterday. Mia and I made a lot of noise teasing each other on the way to school. Rena watched us and laughed happily. Bum 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 ba-dum. Satoka and Rika-chan were already there when we arrived at school. They were also full of energy. Tamita-kun and Akama-kun were too. From that I can tell that they had a good time yesterday. Everyone had been having a good time, really. In Himizawa, everyone is happy. It hasn't been a year yet since I moved here, but... What is it? Well, I'm just glad that I moved here. What's wrong, Ki-chan? You're being sentimental? I understand exactly how you feel. You feel like everything is perfect, that you've become happy since you've moved to Himizawa. I think this village has some kind of power to make people feel that way. Are you happy, Rina? Yes, I'm happy every day here in Himizawa. Me too. Hey, don't leave this old man out in the cold. Let me in on the conversation too. The sky was clear and the few thin clouds were pure white. The cry of the cicadas was telling me that summer would be coming earlier than usual. Wasn't Higurashi just around the corner? I'm sure we'll have a great fun at the festival too. There'll be more and more fun days to come, I'm sure of it. Summer is just around the corner. Ba 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 da da dum bum ba dum ba 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 bum bum da 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 dun dun ba dun 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 ba da ba da da dun da da. Where are we going? What is this? What was that? It didn't say anything. The last class of the day was finally over, meaning that it was time for club activities. I was sure it would be fun. I couldn't wait. I'm Rina now. But then Mi-chan received a call and told us something had come up and she had to go, so we didn't have a club meeting today. Psst. I was really looking forward to it. There's nothing I could do. But I could at least chat with Kichi-kun on the way home. It'll be fun. Kichi-kun sometimes says mean things, but he's really funny. When I chat with him, my depression goes away. Wait, what did I just say? Am I depressed? I have so much fun every day, and I'm as happy as I can be. What did I have to be depressed about? Well, it was obvious. Because of Raina-san, my father is happy now. Before he met her, he was like a lamp in broad daylight. Honestly, he was like the living dead. But after he met Raina, he started to smile like he used to when he lived with my mother. He enjoyed talking with her and started going out with her. You could probably say that they went on dates. Now he looks 10, no, 20 years younger. Raina gets along with my father very well, and she's very kind to me too. There's actually no reason for me to hate her, but the bitter memories of my parents' divorce and my many regrets were gradually eating away at my heart. Was it okay to accept that woman? Raina might be the same as how Uncle Akihito turned out to be. Is she the enemy who takes away my happiness away with her very existence, with or without bad intentions? Am I to sit around until everything collapses again? Should I fight the enemy before it's too late? Raina-san comes to my house a little too obviously. Since my father started letting her stay the night, many of our belongings have turned up in the house. My father and I don't smoke, but there's an ashtray in the living room. The futon in our guest room is hers now. In the bathroom there's a toothbrush and shampoo I would never choose to buy. I started to feel awkward about those things, and that's when I started to notice it at the front door when I came home from school, her perfume. I asked my father once if he was thinking about getting married to Raina-san. He looked a little embarrassed, perplexed and confused. He told me not yet. He knew I was hurt by the divorce. That's probably why he couldn't admit that he wanted to remarry. That's why he said not yet. He'd consider it, but not while I was still living with him. That's what he meant, I guess. There's only one reason why I don't want him to get remarried to Raina. I feel offended that my sanctum, my family, is being invaded. I might be being selfish though. I know keeping my father all to myself means keeping him miserable like he was before he met Raina. He has a life to live too. It's his right to heal from the pain from the divorce, and to live to find his new love. He wouldn't have had to go through that painful life if I'd prevented the divorce from happening in the first place. He has a right to be happy, to a happy new life that lets him forget the pain he never deserved, and I don't have any right to stop him. In fact, I have an obligation to return to his I have an obligation to try to return his happiness to him. I have to pay for my sins, my inability to prevent his divorce. Then, what should I do to make us both happy? It wouldn't be that difficult. All I need to do would be to give my son's approval of their relationship. My father tells me he wouldn't get remarried while we live together. That means I should stop leaning on my family, be strong and live on my own as soon as I can. Although that doesn't mean I can tell him not to go out with her until that day. Raina-san comes to our house to see him despite her busy schedule, and she even stays at night whenever her shift permits. They're adults, and I have no right to say anything against that. That's why I chose to give my silence approval to their relationship, and try to see her as little as I could. I get along with Rhino on the surface. I know my father would have a hard time keeping face if we didn't, but it's very exhausting and painful thing to get along with a person I don't really like. So whenever Raina-san comes over, I spend as much time as possible outside, then head home late. Me and Chan's club activities are the most convenient things to do to kill time, but there's some days we don't have club meetings, and those days I while away my time with the garbage dump hunting for treasure alone. And that's how I started to make my secret hideout. My father can do whatever he wants with Ryan and San at home. I don't have to see them together. I can spend my time peacefully at my hideout. I sometimes feel depressed about my life. I sometimes want to talk to someone about it. But nothing will change even if I talk to someone. This is all I can really do. The most important thing for me should be to overcome the sadness of losing my family as fast as I could, and to regain my own happiness. I have so much fun every day. I'm happy every day. Even on the way home, Kichi-kun was talking about funny things that made me laugh. My feeling gloomy in spite of that was kind of rude. My father should be happy. I should be happy. I just feel sad because I can't separate from my father. Compared to the unexpectedness of the divorce, Raina-san's invasion is a very slow process. I think Raina understands how I feel. She treats me very kindly, but she doesn't do more than that. I think she understands that I'd feel uncomfortable if she did. I respect Rika-chan because she's strong even without her parents. Compared to the pain of losing both her parents unexpectedly, my problem is like nothing. I said respect Satoko-chan's toughness too. She also lost her parents and was supposed to live with a painful life under her uncle and aunt. Compared to the cruel treatment she had to go through, my relationship with Raina-san is a blessed one. I keep feeling anxious but that's just because I'm so immature and because I feel like I'm not ready to separate from my father. I have to be stronger like Rika-chan and Satoko-chan. I have to try my best to be happy. I'm gonna live with all my might in order to regain the peace of mind that I had lost that day. My assumption that I'm not happy is just a mistake. I should appreciate the wonderful days I spent with my wonderful friends. Just by realizing that I'm happy, the world shines so brightly. Listen. It was just so cute, so I screamed, I'm taking it home with me. I bet you did. You're an expert at making the most out of your day, out of every day. I am, aren't I? I feel very fortunate to have a wonderful life and wonderful friends. How could I not be happy? You're right. In Himizawa, nobody becomes unhappy. Everyone stays happy. Himizawa is free from misfortune. He should have stopped right there, but he just kept going. I'm jealous of you, Rina. I wish I could be an idiotic optimist like you. How? It sounds like you're insulting me, but if that's what I need to make every day wonderful, I wouldn't mind, would I? I don't have any worries. I feel like I do, but that's just because I'm immature and still want my father's attention. Come on, say the magical words. It'll cheer you up. How? It didn't make sense to say it now, but I was going to say it anyway, because this was my magical face that always cheers me up. How? I'm taking you home with me. What's wrong with you? That's so like you, but still. That's right. This is me, Rina. I'm not Raina. Raina still wants her parents' attention. Rina is a goofy, carefree character. Carefree girl. She knows that every day is full of happiness, and she has a kind of heart to appreciate it too. I should forget about icky things. I should live a wonderful life free of anything icky. Icky starts with I. And that's why I got to get rid of the I in Rina. I'm Rina. I'm going to recapture the happiness I lost when I left Himizawa. I will overcome my pain and hardship. I can be happy because I got rid of the I key things. I'm sure there are only incredible things waiting for me. Incredible starts with I too. I was almost home when my home appeared. I noticed something different there. There was a truck parked in front of my house. There was nothing on the back of it, but I could tell it brought something here because I saw some cardboard boxes, blankets, and ropes on the ground. She was moving in. From the front of the house, I heard voices of two men saying, "Well, we'll be going now." They passed by me as I walked towards the front door. They were wearing some kind of work uniforms. They looked like delivery people. Father was about to close the door when he noticed me. "Hey, I'm home. What's going on?" "Oh, Rina, I have a surprise for you." My father looked to be in a good mood. I didn't know why he was, but whenever he smiled like that, I just wanted to smile back at him. His eyes used to look like those of a dead fish, no matter how hard I tried to smile at him. But these days he could put on a huge smile just to surprise me. He has been literally coming back to life since a year ago, when we moved back to Himizawa. No, since he started dating Rina-san. When I see him smile like this, I'm happy, but at the same time I feel confused because I don't know whether I should think of Rina-san or not. Look, doesn't it look great? He took me to the living room. He was probably expecting me to go oh or an ah, so whenever there was something in the living room or not, I was ready to go ooh and ah for him. Whoa. What? What is this? What did you do? I tried to sound excited and surprised. He was standing behind me, probably smiling with a satisfaction at hearing my excited voice. On the other hand, I was desperately trying to understand what was going on. For a moment I thought I was in someone else's house. You see, the living room had been completely redecorated. The furniture we had was all from the former house in Ibaraki. My parents bought most of the furniture when they got married, so it was all old and a little dirty. Some of them still had crayon scribbles I drew when I was little. But all of that was gone now. Everything in the living room had turned a pastel color, looking very sophisticated, like the rooms you would see in soap operas. The new carpet looked very tropical. The new curtains matched with the carpet. The new sofa looked very expensive. The living room in general looked like a resort hotel. The channel switcher of our old TV was broken, and we used to have to use the pilers to change channels, but it was gone too, replaced by a new one with a big screen. The room's light had also been replaced by nice looking lights. The living room looked like a completely different world under the new fluorescent lights. This looks great, Dad. Well, what made you do this? I did it to get a fresh start. It's been a year since we moved here. I thought it was time for me to reboot and finally start a new life. I suggested redecorating the house once in order to cheer him up, because he was still in pain after the divorce, but it wasn't interesting at the time. He didn't want to get rid of the old furniture he had chosen with my mother because he still couldn't get over her even though she cruelly broke up with him. I wanted to suggest it again when the time was right. I never thought he'd do it on his own initiative. That was a great idea. This beautiful living room made me feel refreshed. I love it. I knew you would. Rina, you always wanted to have a rocking chair, didn't you? It's really confusing when you call them both the same name. Well, I actually don't know what you call the other girl, but the names are similar, aren't they? I think the other one doesn't have an E. Maybe, I don't know. I haven't set it up yet, but look, I got it for you. How? Dad, thank you. This is mine, right? Hey, this is for everyone. I understand, but I'm not going to get off this chair once I sit on it. My father explained the details of his redecoration proudly. He told me that he only did the living room this time, but he's going to redecorate all of the rooms. He sure had become more active. There are some parts about the redecoration I didn't like, but I still thought it was great because it made him happy. I found the old furniture outside in the yard. Are you going to throw them away? Yeah, I think we should. A delivery company is coming to pick you up later. Getting rid of the old furniture means putting an end to my mother. I hate the furniture because it smells like my mother, and I tried to break everything once. I understand why my father wants to take this opportunity to get rid of them, but for some reason, this new living room makes me feel like I no longer belong here. My father didn't choose the new furniture. Ryan-san probably did. Yeah, this one has, her name has no E. Most likely my father and Rainer decided to redecorate the living room and went to a furniture store to buy everything. I tried to think positively. The reason why my father didn't tell me about the redecoration was because he wanted to surprise me. Now my father never really considered things that deeply, so I suppose he didn't tell me because he just didn't think he needed to tell me. I'm sure he didn't redecorate the living room to make me feel like I was no longer welcome. But don't be negative, Rina. My father didn't have any bad intentions. He doesn't want to get rid of me. He doesn't think I'm the reason he can't get remarried. And yet, why did I feel sad looking at the old furniture in the yard? Why did I feel like I didn't belong? I realized the reason right away. That reason was me. To him, wanting a new fresh start, getting rid of the things that reminded him of his mother might be an indication of his unconscious desire to get rid of his daughter. My father doesn't really consider things deeply, so he might not be thinking that I'm the reason he can't get remarried. But he understands that he can't get remarried while we live together. By staying with him, I'm torturing my father. It was my fault that he had to get a divorce. That's why I have to support him to help him recapture his happiness. I couldn't just keep him all to myself. I'd have to start thinking about living on my own. I don't need to go to university. I should think about getting a job. But who would hire an uneducated girl like me? And if somebody did hire me, I wouldn't be able to earn enough money to live on my own. Maybe I should start thinking about working at a hostess club, like Ryan-san does. People only choose the jobs they can. A girl like me doesn't have a lot of choices. Not a lot of companies would hire me or pay the amount of money that I would need to live on my own. But, come to think of it, where is the place where I belong? Whenever I end up feeling like this, I miss my secret hideout in the trash piles. Is the furniture gonna go there, by the way? Or is it gonna go to a different place? I love to get under my blanket and feel the warmth on a cold night. The hideout gets hot and humid during the day. Very cold at night. It's not a comfortable place to spend time in. But it might be the place where I can relax the most, more than I can in my house. No, I shouldn't think like this. I shouldn't think that my house has been invaded by Raina-san. I should thank her for making my father happy. Raina isn't trying to kick me out of the house. She's trying to get along with me. But I'm not opening my heart to her. I'm the bad one. I'm the bad one. And I'm blessed. I'm blessed. Satoshi-kun and his aunt didn't get along at all, as she still abused him for a long time. Compared to him, my situation is a lot easier. Satoko-chan and Rika-chan lost their parents and they live together now. They've been through very hard times on the other hand, and I still live with my father. I should feel blessed. I don't think I'm unhappy just because of these things. I am happy. I am blessed. The trouble with me is that I still can't admit that I'm happy. My father kept talking proudly about the redecoration. I nodded at him with a huge smile and let him keep going on. Oh, I almost forgot, Rina, can I ask you a favor? Sure. What is it? I ordered 2 jackets from the clothing store. It seems like they came today. I have to help the delivery company pick up the furniture, so can you go get the jackets for me? Sure. Which store is it? I wonder what kind of jackets you got. I can't wait to see them. No matter what they look like, I'm sure Ryan picked them out for him, although I don't mind going. I'd rather go to the store than listen to his stories about the redecoration of our living room. I got the receipt, asked him what the store is, and changed my clothes and left the house. I started pedaling my bike and looked at the old furniture in the yard for the last time. They used to be objects of my hatred, but for some reason, they now made me feel sentimental. Is it because I still regret the loss of my mother even though I hate her? I hate her? I couldn't let poisonous emotions take over my heart. I understood that in my mind, but I just couldn't get rid of that feeling. The old furniture wasn't the only stuff that was kicked out of the house. There's also a lot of junk that I brought home from the landfill. Father was probably going to throw that away too. He doesn't like the junk I collect. He'll probably let the delivery company take it all with the old furniture. Just like an animal that rubs its scent on its home in order to feel secure. Oh no, not what's it called? Colonel Sanders? The thing that you got? Is that his name? I collected all the junk in order to make me feel like I could stay here. No, that's not it. I wanted to bring that to my house because they were abandoned by their former owners. I needed a place to live. Higurashi when they cry. Is this chapter end or part end? I don't know. Part end then, because it's not chapter. Otherwise I would have did the tip thing. The store my father bought his jacket from is a fancy bouquet. It's hard to believe my father would shop at a store like this on his own. I could tell right away that Reiner took him here. I handed over his receipt to the cashier. A short time later, the store owner came out wearing a perplexed look. Higurashi-sama, I'm sorry, but it seems like the truck carrying your jacket is stuck in traffic. It should be here soon, though. He said that the driver called a while ago told him he just got off the highway and would be here in about an hour. I didn't need to know all the details, but he explained it to me anyway. I asked him if I should come back tomorrow. He insisted that I should wait because the truck would be coming shortly, and he urged me to take a seat on the sofa. But I didn't really feel comfortable waiting there, so I told him I'll be back soon, and I left the store. I wondered if there was any fast food restaurants nearby. I might have to go all the way back to the station. I looked around and found a coffee shop house. The glass on the door was black, so I couldn't see inside, but there was a poster saying the price for a cup of tea is lower than normal for women on weekdays. I would just be going to get a cup of tea to kill some time, so it should be okay, but so I hesitated to go inside before opening the door. The first impression of the coffee house was the smell of cigarettes. It's normal for coffee houses to be filled with cigarette smoke. It's like a requirement, but Rina still regretted her decision. While she was thinking about leaving, the proprietor spoke to her brusquely and showed her to the table. Rina gave up on the idea of leaving and sat down. The atmosphere in the shop was far from a clean, normal coffee shop house where you would go first to enjoy a simple coffee and cigarettes. It was more like a place where vulgar people would hang around. Marina didn't feel comfortable at all, but what bothered her most was the laughter of a man and a woman sitting together in the very back of the shop. Her table was behind a planter, so depending on how one looked at it, one could say she was in a spot most protected from their laughter. But Rina looked at as though she wanted to leave as soon as she finished her tea. The bell hanging from the entrance door rang, letting her know a constable just came in. It was a little surprising for her that a coffee shop like this could draw in so many customers. Rina picked up the newcomer from behind the planter. There were two of them. They looked like vulgar men, the kind of people you didn't want to get involved with the instant you saw them. The proprietor tried to show them to a table, but they ignored him and walked towards the back. They walked up to the couple who had been laughing loudly and greeted them with a bow. Hey, you finally made it. Sit down. The couple stopped laughing, and the man told the newcomer to sit down in a threatening tone of voice. As instructed, the two of them took a seat. So, what happened? We're very sorry. We tried to cut it out. Cut it, dipshit. Just hand it over. The two of them looked at each other before they each took an envelope out of their pockets and put it on the table. The man roughly grabbed the two envelopes and tore them open. Inside there were many wrinkles, 1,000 yen bills bound in a bundle with a rubber band. He opened the other one to make sure it also had cash and then threw it to the woman. Count 'em. Hey, don't order me around. This is originally my money, you know. Shut up. Just count 'em. The man yelled at the woman. She looked at them, looking annoyed, and started counting the cash expertly. The two newcomers hung their heads while she counted. Lighting a cigarette, the man waited for her to finish counting. Good, it's all here. The woman said that after flicking through the last bill. The newcomers looked relieved. The man, however, didn't look satisfied as he stared at the bundle of the bills the woman was holding. Ritsuko, how much is there? Well, I told you it's all there. Here, I'm asking you, how much is there? I told you all the money I lent them. No, idiot. I'm asking you if they paid you the interest. The man and Ritsuko yelled at each other. Even though they were making all the noise, the other customers acted like they didn't hear anything. Hey boys, there's only 2 million in here. What's going on? The two of them were trying to find some excuses to make. It seemed like this behavior had touched the man's nerve as he started looking furious. The fuck is this? I asked you what's going on. You'd better start talking. His angry voice echoed through the shop. He hit the table hard and dropped a glass on the floor. The noise thickened the tension in the atmosphere. We are very sorry. But being sorry doesn't give you the interest, does it? I don't mind calling the police to solve our problem, you know. Please don't. The two of the newcomers must have been in an extremely vulnerable position. They bowed so deeply that their foreheads almost touched the table. I called you all here because I thought you wouldn't want me to involve the police, but then you act like you don't fucking care. We're sorry. We're very sorry. While you could pity them, the newcomers looked as vulgar as the man threatening them, making it hard to decide whether you should feel sorry for them or not. After a while, Vitsuko opened her mouth as if to offer them help. Uh, T-chan, don't be mean to them. Aren't you, Rina? My guy gets mad easy when money is involved. You don't have to add the money part. I'm getting ticked because they're bitching about it. Geez, saying those stupid things won't get you anything. Hmm? The man pulled Vasiko roughly into his arms and frantically kissed her lips without caring about the other customers. And their lips wasn't like the lovely ones that normal couples would share. It looked obscene instead. He let her lips go to take a breath, kissed them again, and repeated that for a while. After a while, he finally got bored of kissing and let her go. He gets really mad when it comes to me too. He's impossible. So this woman's like a part of my body. Putting dirt on her means putting dirt on me. Whoever tries to do that is in for a bloodbath. Do you remember the guy with the comb over? I forgot what you did to that guy after you took him outside. I remember him. He challenged me waiting to take him outside. He said he did karate, so I got a little excited to see what he had, and I punched him in the stomach, but then he just kneeled down on the ground. I was disappointed, so I took off his pants and underwear and made him clean the public toilets with them. See, I'm helping society. I deserve an award for that one. I can't believe you made him do that. You're so gross sometimes. Yeah. They started laughing loudly like they were doing earlier. Their laughter obviously intimidated their companions. Listen, you two. T-chan is actually in a very good mood today. Usually he would start yelling, "This isn't enough money," and you'd have to be thrown into the Ojo River naked by now. We truly apologize for the inconvenience. Well, you forgot about the interest, but you did put together all the rest of the money in time. I'm impressed. So I'll be nice and take that into consideration, you know. Anyway, his interest rate is a little high, but it's only 5 if you pay it today. If you wait even a day longer, it'll be doubled. And if it's doubled, I don't think you'll be able to pay it no matter what you do. So I'm going to make you a deal. T-chan, would you give us a minute? Sure, I guess it's okay. The man left the table with a grin and headed for the bathroom. He was far too amiable to that request, as if they planned to leave the table at that moment. Ritsuko made sure he was in the bathroom, then took some papers out of her bag and spread them on the table. You're young. You don't want to ruin your lives because of a nerd like him, do you? So I recommend you pay all the interest today. If you do, you can cut ties with him. We understand that, but we can't get 5,000 yen just like that. I understand. I bet you tried really hard to collect that 2 million yen. I understand there's no one who would help you with another 500k. They must have done their very best to collect even the money they brought today, so it must be impossible for them to collect even a dime from anyone now. They hung their heads untold that. However, take a look. I made this for you. Ah, the guys looked at the paper on the table and muttered under their breaths. You don't need collaboration or joint guarantor for this, so the interest rate is a bit high, but with this you can take a loan of 500k yen right away. It's like a loan shark or something. Even this interest rate is a lot better than T-chan's. What do you think? It would be easier for anyone to guess what Ritsuko was trying to force them to do. If you show him this with your signature on it, I'm sure he'll let you off. It's your choice though. If you need a pen, you can use mine here. They read the small print on the document and were stunned by the outrageous interest rates. Ritsuko didn't force them to do anything. She just looked out the window and smoked a cigarette. After a while, the man returned from the bathroom. Hey, did you come to an agreement? They looked at him, steel themselves, and took the pen. They're going to borrow the money to pay your interest. It's only 500k yen, so they can pay their debts soon if they work hard. That's great, I'm impressed. Men get tougher when they have something burdening them. They must have planned this from the very beginning. The man and Ritsuko got what they wanted and grinned at each other. There were many things to fill out on the documents, and it was taking them a long time. The man and Ritsuko, already knowing that, started talking amongst themselves. Ritsuko, how's your husband Himizawa doing? What? He's not my husband. What's going on with him? I heard he has a lot of money. How much do you think you can squeeze out of him? Well, you'll be surprised. I heard his ex-wife gave him a settlement when they divorced, right? But I just found out that she gave him a lot. How much is a lot? He has about 50 million yen in the bank. He's a big spender. Wow, that's a real big. So how much do you think you can squeeze out of him? He has a big crush on me. He buys me anything I want, anything. He's not cheap like you. I might get serious about him. I don't think so. Your body won't be satisfied with anyone but me. Stop it, not there. So, what's the plan? I'm thinking about telling him I need some money to get rid of my ex-boyfriend. How much are you going to ask him for? She whispered into his ear. Yeah, you're a scary woman. Let me know if you need an action for your play. I'll be your scary ex-boyfriend. Excuse me. We finished. Great. Then let's bring you over to the loan company. Risiko, take care of the checks, would ya? The man pat them on their shoulders and then walked to the door. Another person was just about to enter and they nearly ran into each other. The man probably wouldn't make a way for the person considering his personality, but when he noticed who the person was, he stepped aside. The person looked as vulgar as the other men. He was wearing a black suit with sunglasses on. He wasn't that big, but his stern look was very intimidating. It was clear at a glance that he was a gangster and a professional one at that. The man who was behaving badly earlier looked a little nervous in front of him. As Risiko finished paying the check, she noticed the man in the suit. Oh, General Manager? Good morning, sir. The man in the suit said nothing. He just raised his chin as if saying fuck off. Raised his chin? Risiko and the others bowed to him and left the shop in a hurry. The proprietor noticed the man in the suit and also greeting him with a bow. Who could he have been? He appeared sedate compared to the other men, but he must be dangerous because he made even them step aside. Everyone in the shop thought the same thing and tried not to look at him. The man in the suit looked around and found the menu on the wall. The proprietor walked up to him hesitantly. Hey, waiter, yes? Is anything bothering you, sir? Do you have this seasonal dessert? Sweet something or other day? Huh? Oh, no, actually we aren't running that today, but, well, if you insisted, then we can make a specialty for you. If you're not selling it, you're not selling it. I'll come back some other day. Hey, Keisei, he said he would make it for you. Take his offer. We came all the way here. I was thinking it could be Keisei, because that's the only person I know who looks like that. The girl seemed to be the only one who couldn't read the heavy atmosphere in the shop, and she came in laughing cheerfully. It was Mion Shinazaki's sister, Shion. Shion pushed Keisei into the stool while he hesitated. She looked at a girl who was sitting down and stepped in her tracks. Huh? Oh, it's you. Hello, Rina-san. How are you doing? I'm no longer Rina. Oh, Shi-chan. I'm surprised to see you here. Am I Rina? The text isn't that color anymore. Huh? Are you by yourself? You waiting for someone? Is it my sis? Or maybe could it be Ki-chan? Am I Keisei? Oh, Shi-chan. And who is this? Oh, are you talking about Keisei here? He's like my bodyguard. He'll protect me when my life is in danger, won't you? I'll give my life for your sake if that's what you want me to. Wow. Keisei, if you were 20 years younger, I might have fallen for you. He looks scary, but he's a funny guy. This is Rina Higura-san. She's just his friend. My name is Keisei. Nice to meet you. Keisei-san, do you know the people who just walked past you? Keisei nodded, indicating that he was familiar with them. Who are they? I've never seen them before. The man is Tepa Hojo, a skunk of a human being. Tepa Hojo? You mean, Rika's uncle? Shion seemed to know, who he was once she heard the name Hojo. And the woman? Raina Mamiya. Oh, so she died in, chapter 3? She was murdered? I believe that's her business name. Her real name is, Ritsuko, Mamiya. I think she's a hostess at Flower Road. Keisei-san, do you know what he is to her? They look like a couple to me. Hagura is Rina's pimp. They're very, very bad people, so you should never get involved with them. how bad are they? Rina pressed him for the answer, and Casey seemed to be back down from that pressure. It's more courteous to say that stay out of that woman's affairs. How bad are they? Please don't ask. How bad are they? Rina kept asking the same questions until she got an answer. Shion sensed how desperate Rina was and cut into the conversation. Keisei, why don't you just tell her? I don't think she's asking out of curiosity. Am I right, Rina-san? There was tension developing between Rina and Keisei. Shion seemed to be the only one who couldn't read the mood. Keisei finally opened his mouth. They're both skunks, really. I've heard that they make a living by gambling and blackmailing people. I also heard that they set up badger games. What's a badger game? Well, a badger game is like a marriage fraud. The woman finds a man who has money and begins a relationship with him. Then her boyfriend shows up and catches them in the act, blames the other guy for stealing his girlfriend, then blackmails him for money. First, the woman makes him buy expensive things for her, and then she and her boyfriend take all of his money. There's a rumor that she's got herself a big catch recently. Wow. Whoever that is, I'm sorry for him. Well, that guy had fun with her too. I guess he gets what he deserves. That's a little harsh, Shion. A man sometimes falls for a woman easily. Oh really? I wonder who you fell for. Waiter, bring the desserts here, would you? Please wait, where did she go? She just took her leave. Rina was already gone. The door, which had to close, looked as if it was the only thing that she knew where she went. Yeah, she was evil. When I got home, the door was locked. I used my key to get in and I found a note in the living room. Something came up, so I had to go. I'm going to eat out tonight, is what the note said. This wasn't the first time we'd done something like this. Each time he only told me he had to go to Okinomiya or something, but I knew the real reason, because I heard him talking on the phone once. Rina must have had free time between her jobs and asked him out to dinner together. I heaved a sigh. I looked at the new living room I hated and went to my room. I thought back over what I just heard at the coffee house. I tried to rationalize the meaning of her actions there. Maybe she had to pretend to be a bad person because she was being threatened by the man. Probably not. But even after she called T-chan left the table, she continued to threaten the guys and punish them into signing the loan contract immediately. If she was threatened to play along with the man, she wouldn't have done that. If she was pretending to be a bad person, she should have showed a little mercy or sympathy when he left her alone with them. It's like holding water in a bowl you made with your own hands. No matter how steady you make the bowl, water will leak out from your fingers. Mercy and sympathy leak out from you, but not even a drop leaked out from Rina-san. Her hands weren't even moist, they were all dried up. There was no water that could leak out from those hands. Rina was threatening those guys as much as the man was. Neither was leading the other along. They were doing this together. That was it. Rina is a bad person. My brain cells accepted the idea with applause. After all, I already hated Rina-san. I just couldn't accept the feeling because my father liked her, but at that moment I could finally accept her. She's a bad person just like my mother. She's an existence that will ruin everything and destroy my father's happiness just by being with him. But I wonder if my father would understand that Rina is a bad person if I told him. My father likes her so much that he would jump over a cliff if she asked him to. He thinks everything she says or does is great, and he interprets everything about her in a positive way. He protects her and praises her without her asking him to. I'm not a kid anymore. I understand how a woman can tame a man. It's difficult for love. Love is about trying to build a relationship. Taming is just a way of satisfying the lust to dominate. She's just trying to make him into her slave. Women can deceive men, even my father. They can use dirty methods to ensnare men like they're following a manual. It's the weak point of all men are born with. Even with a strong will, they can't resist it. That's why we hate those women who exploit that weak point to deceive men. That's why I couldn't bring myself to like Rina-san. For the sake of argument, let's assume I acknowledge an unreciprocated love like that. But that would only be as long as it was love. If it wasn't love, it was just a method to try and squeeze that money out of him. I'd never forgive her. I remember the conversation at the coffee house. Rina said that my father is a big spender. In fact, I think he spends money without hesitating and then before he met Rina-san. I was happy that he started to regain an interest in going out into the world again, but now I don't know whether I should be happy or not. He controls the money of the Higurashi family overall, but since I do the grocery shopping, he often gives me his bank book so I can withdraw money. Because of that, I know where he keeps his bank book, his personal seal, and other important stuff. They're in his drawer, which he usually locks. I know where he hides the key, and I know the combination of the cash box inside the drawer. He might be coming back soon, so I felt a little nervous, but I had to make sure. I opened the cash box, which had the bank books, personal seals, and unused postcards. I removed everything from the cash box to get at the bank books, and I found something new. On the bottom of the box, there was a bundle of new 10k yen bills. The thickness wasn't enough, something I could ignore. There was also paper wrap that looked like it had been bundling the bills. The wrapper had a strap that said it was a bundle of 1,000,000 yen. He usually kept some cash at home because it was troublesome to go to the bank every time he needed money, but it was usually around 100k to 200k yen at most. He's never kept such a huge amount of money at home before because he knew it's unsafe. The extraordinary amount of 10k yen bills was already abnormally intimidating. I tried to open the bank book, but my fingers got numb all of a sudden. A part of me was trying to deny the things I heard at the coffee shop. It wasn't because I wanted to defend my father or even Rin-san. It was because I didn't want to believe my father was the husband in Himizawa the blackmailers were talking about. I opened the bank book. The last time I saw it was about 2 or 3 months ago. It showed countless withdrawals since that day. I probably wouldn't normally understand what those numbers meant, but I felt at the moment as if the 10 different digits were speaking to me. They were a series of huge, cruel digits. It started with some understandable expenses that I assumed represent dinners or something, but then the amount of money starts to become nice round numbers like 5 or 10 or 10. I can tell by looking at the dots he withdrew money that he wanted to have a certain amount of cash on hand when he went out with Ryan-san. Among those expenses, a big number appeared all of a sudden. It was too much money to spend in a day, hundreds of thousands of yen. I looked at the date of the withdrawal and traced it back to my memory. I remembered. Around that time, Rainer was talking about moving into a new apartment. I knew the market price of rental house apartments in Okinawa. You need to put down 2 safety deposits and 2 payments of key money in order to rent an apartment. That amount of withdrawal sounded reasonable now. He paid the whole down payment for a new apartment. After that, big numbers appeared one after another. I could tell that they were for congratulatory gifts for a new apartment or something. The number got bigger and bigger. It looked like at first he was withdrawing only the amount of money he needed. Then he started withdrawing big amounts all at once because he knew he was going to use it someday anyway. The change meant only one thing. He lost a sense of value of money. The balance kept going down and I started feeling anxious about what was going to happen if he continued spending money like this. But then I saw a deposit of a huge amount of money into the account. Where did that money come from? There's only one thing I could think of. I opened the other bank book. It was easy like a puzzle book for kids. It was like playing with an easy jigsaw puzzle that comes with the huge pieces and you don't even have to put them together to see the whole picture. Did he get a loan? My father was using the money from his time deposits. In other words, the settlements for my mother paid my father when she was divorced. To him, it's cursed money. I understand if he wanted to use it to get a new love, but that was just an excuse to use the money from his time deposits. Money is money. Even though it's his divorce alimony, it's still important money for our future. Even though it's cursed money to him, that doesn't mean he can waste it. Big expenses started appearing all after another. There are so many expenses, upwards of 6 digits. For some reason, I could immediately tell they were for buying electrical appliances and furniture. He must have been buying everything she asked him to. If from the beginning Rainer was only trying to check if she could catch a big, if he could end up being a big catch, he must have been trying to find out how much money she could squeeze out of him. And my father bought her anything she wanted, no matter how expensive it was. So she probably thinks of him as the perfect catch now. The number in the bank books told me so. The simple numbers and dates on the bank books had started talking to me. Around the time he started withdrawing huge amounts of money, Ryan started coming to the house more often, and she also started spending the night. To Ryan, my father was just at first a guy who spends a lot of money, but around the time she landed her big catch. My father used to refer to her as my friend in Okinawa at first, but he started referring to her as Rainer around that time. This is partially his fault, but he was betrayed by his beloved wife and he was feeling hurt and down for a long time. It's also partially my fault, that's why I didn't want to blame him. And he's not that good looking either. There's no way he's immune to women. He must have not been able to resist an attractive lady who aggressively approached him when he was feeling down. He's crazy about Rainer and he can see nothing other than her. I can't blame him because Rainer trained him to be that way. I put the bank books and the other things back into the cash box. This cash box is just like my father's heart. Rainer's eating up the contents. What should I do? Do you think of Rina Hagura? Should I tell him about Rhino's scheme? No, that's probably wouldn't do anything. The whole point about taming an animal is that it will run away from its owner even if the door is wide open. My father probably wouldn't leave his cage even if I opened the door. Should I comfort Rhino about her plot when she's with him? The result would be the same. Rhino would run behind his back. He'd probably try to protect her. If she pressed her breast against his back, he'd protect her no matter what. I couldn't make this a problem between me and him. First of all, I was trying to get rid of Rhino for his sake. If we got mad at each other, it would give the advantage to Rhino-san. It would be like I was putting myself into a trap. That meant I couldn't make him do anything. If I couldn't make him break up with Rhino-san, I would have to talk to Rhino-san directly. So instead of making my father fight, I'd have to fight in his place. But how? That guy, Keisei, who was with Shi-chan today, seemed to know about Rhino was with. I wonder if I can somehow meet him again. He looks scary, but if I was introduced to him as a friend of Mi-chan. Mi-chan has a lot of power around here. There's no way he would treat me badly. I wonder if you could tell Rhino and the man to back off my father. That would help me a lot. But I didn't know how I could meet him again. I could ask Mi-chan to help, but I didn't want her to know about my situation. This is a problem with the Higura family. This is no one else's business but mine. Yeah, this is a battle I had to fight alone. I regret my parents' divorce. I wept about the tragedy I could have prevented if I had tried. I wasn't going to weep this time. I wasn't going to let the chance slip away. This time I would fight for my happiness. Higurashi when they cry? Yeah, okay. Property estimate. Is that for the Okinomiya house? Accidentally uncovered a horrible truth. The husband and Himizawa. Dear Risiko Mamiya Sama, Executive Hojo, Executive Housing Corporation, I think it is for the apartment. Cash estimate. We thank you for your past visits and inquiries to our office. We've included the estimate for the property you inquired about. Basic information. Property name, Palace of Violence, room 707. Palace. Property code, 14M1421. Property type, modern condomon. Layout 2LDK. Address, Shinobon City, Korea-cho to Chrome. Transportation, XXX line. Goro Station, 5 minutes on foot. Cost, well, that's like almost 50 million. Maintenance fee, 20k yen. The southeast corner elevator room. Accommodation, fitness club membership included. Oh, this is a pretty fancier place. Thank you for your interest in this property. The area around Goryeo Station is a prime real estate zone for luxury accommodation. Along with future planned development, the real estimate values in and around the Goryeo Station are expected to rise, and this property is not an exception. As a result, many prospects buyers are interested in this property. Hence, we would like for you to understand that the selection process for this property will be done via lottery. Really expensive. Well, it's near a station, so yeah. And also, this is like in the 90s, right? So it's like 30 years ago too. Also, we also offer celebrity member preference treatment, getting highly improved chances through additional lottery entries. Please feel free to inquire with our agencies for more details. Executive Housing Corporation, Celebrity Account Manager, Kawabata. If you don't want to involve anyone, this is going to be a lot harder, to be honest with you. Like, yeah, it'll be a lot harder. But yeah, that's it for this time, so